Welcome back. We're at Milton Keynes. It is going to be an amazing fight in the Daytona DMAX Championships. It's the 9th round of 10, and we have got a great fight in the Heavy Heats Championship. Rob Bennett has a strong lead, and we're going to have to see how it will play out for second place in the point standings between Alex Pritchard and Lee Witney. Rob Bennett can clinch the title this weekend, but it's all up to how he does over the course of the races. The Heavy Heats finale here at Daytona Milton Keynes is upon us, and it's going to be a really intense battle. Over the course of the heats, the highest point scorer has been Alex Pritchard, but only by 5 points across the 3 races, so that's not going to be enough on its own to really eat into the gap for Rob Bennett. As far as Rob Bennett is concerned, as long as he stays in the top 3, even if he doesn't secure the championship this time out, he puts himself into a really strong position to get the job done next time. But Alex Pritchard is in pole position for this one from Rob Bennett, Tarek Almu and Lee Witney. The 3 title contenders are all in the top 4 positions as well, so it will be very interesting to see how Tarek Almu mixes it up with those 3 potential champions.
Everyone got that? You're paying attention, kids?
Yes, if any of that made any sense, I probably wasn't telling it right, to be fair.
If you understand any of that, please tweet at SpannersReady. Give me a breakdown. Or join us in the commentary booth. Come say hello.
So Alex Pritchard got 62 points on the board there. Rob Bennett got 57 and Lee Witney 56. The same as Tarek Almu through those 3 previous heats. So now in the final, obviously, the point scores are going to be doubled for this race. 25 points originally on offer for each heat, so that's 50 available for the last race of the day. And Alex Pritchard hoping to get away from Rob Bennett as soon as humanly possible. Tarek Almu in 3rd. And in 4th position on the grid, Lee Witney. So it will be a really interesting challenge as the drivers will battle away from the grid. And a lot of competitors wanting to put themselves right at the sharp end early on in this race.
Here we go.
And this is it. Drivers coming out of the final turn. Engine revs rise. It's going to be Pritchard versus Bennett for the victory. Green flag flies and away we go. And it's a perfect start for Alex Pritchard through the first corner. Tarek Almu hanging on to 3rd position and immediately having a look at Rob Bennett for the inside line. But there's not a lot Lee Witney can do except pursue through in 4th position. 5th position is Lee Schnitzler initially as they make their way through towards turn 5. And Schnitzler is hanging on to that position for the moment. The orange gloves of Darren Holliday still there in P6 in front of Blaise Sienko.
He was really aggressive into turn 3, actually. Definitely earned that extra position.
So now Pritchard with Bennett all over the back of him up to the inside line, and that's going to be a move on Witney, is it? A very choice overtake there from Lee Schnitzler.
I think Whitney's actually held that around the outside. He's seen that coming and he's drafted his way all the way around the long way round. Done him.
And if he's able to keep the pressure around the outside line for turn 8, that really is quite impressive. He's had to work incredibly hard to keep the pace up. Pritchard, though, in front of Rob Bennett, and this is going to tighten up the championship gap heading to the final round at Sandown Park. It's not going to determine the champion just yet, especially if Pritchard can beat Rob Bennett on this occasion. It really will take things down to the wire. But with only 5 points advantage out of these 3 heats, Pritchard could really do with beating Rob Bennett in a straight fight to really hammer home his advantage and gain enough points to take the title fight to Sandown. But 3rd position, Tarek Almu running in front of Lee Witney. Not a bad run so far as Lee Schnitzler is trying to shake off Paul Studd. Paul Studd to the inside line and takes that 5th position. A good bit of driving there from Paul Studd. Schnitzler coming back on the outside line to get onto the inside for turn 6. But still, Paul Studd running around the outside line to hold on to the position and get the inside line again for turn 7. Nicely sorted by Paul Studd.
Pritchard's been on fire all afternoon. Rob Bennett's really going to have his work cut out to try and get past him. I think Pritchard's going to do enough to hold it. I doubt very much he's going to go fully defensive and allow themselves to be clawed back into that pack. I think these 2 are going to disappear. And look at that, they're coming over the hill, and Pritchard and Bennett are a fair whack ahead of Lee Witney and Tarek Almu already. In fact, Lee Witney has got past Tarek Almu. Was it Tarek Almu who went up the inside of Lee Witney earlier?
Was indeed.
Yeah, so Lee Witney's held on to that.
So if the order were to stay like this in this race, with Pritchard in front of Rob Bennett, the gap between them on dropped scores would be just 21 points, which would definitely take us to a bit of a title showdown. So there is a lot to play for. We've got some really exciting challenges from the drivers as they continue on in the final round of the championship. And obviously, this is going to be a very exciting challenge for the drivers as they continue on the far side.
Well, I was immediately wrong about the front two breaking away, because it looks like Rob Bennett's falling into the clutches of that Lee Witney and Tarek Almu battle.
Oh, massive damage to the back of Lindley's car. Massive damage to the rear end.
No, not Lindley again.
He's had all sorts of difficulties so far today, and unfortunately the rear bumper of the car is practically dead and buried, dragging off the back of the car. Tarek Almu in 4th position. This is a very tame position, but as further back, Lee Schnitzler's going to try and make the move on Paul Studd. Studd hangs on the inside. Lee Schnitzler rolls off the power and gets himself back into a decent position. Schnitzler has had to yield to Paul Studd, who remains in 5th position for the moment. Then Darren Holiday over the line. Up towards turn 2. This is still a good battle between Schnitzler and Paul Studd in front of him. Studd the leading super heavy. Schnitzler wanting to break into the top 5.
Yeah, Holiday's kind of lost track of those two. He was right up their back bumper, but now he's sort of fallen back into the clutches of potentially Hirani. Sorry, Blasienko.
Yes, Blasienko and Vinod Hirani not far away. This is going to be an interesting run for our man in the lead, Alex Pritchard. Rob Bennett now really starting the attack and starting to edge closer to him. Lee Witney still there in 3rd from Almu. But this is all about Rob Bennett. He'll want to try and take on Alex Pritchard in a straight fight and beat him in a competitive run, and he's made 0.6 of a second on Pritchard in that last lap alone with a new fastest lap of 1:09.088. Watch out, this is a good chance for Rob Bennett.
He's visibly closer, and he's in that kind of lunge range now. Where do you think he's going to try and size him up for an attack?
This is going to take a while, isn't it? Because Rob Bennett is going to obviously have a difficulty in trying to edge away from Alex Pritchard if he gets a move, but it's whether he'll get an opportunity at all. I have a feeling up towards turn 10 is going to be his first real bid to make the lunge on Alex Pritchard. They drop down out of sight and into 8, but it's the run up the back straight and through that long sweeping 9 that will dictate whether Rob Bennett can go for the move on his championship rival.
It's been bright and glorious at times today here at Daytona, Milton Keynes, but the cloud cover comes over now as Rob Bennett closes in on turn 9. Is he going to be close enough to do something into turn 10? No, it'll all be about getting in the best shape for that final hairpin. I think at the moment it's just about letting Alex Pritchard know he's there, not close enough to do anything really dangerous or productive. Just keep the tightest possible line and be ready to pounce on any mistake that Alex Pritchard might make.
He might get a run up to turn 4 if he gets a beautiful exit out of 3. Not quite close enough. Yeah, no, he is going for it from a long, long way back. And Bennett squeezes Pritchard. No room at all. Pritchard's absolutely livid with Bennett squeezing him to the tyres. Now Pritchard's going to come back and retaliate on the exit of 5. On the undercut, they are banging wheels as they go to the braking zone for 6. They dip through the right-hander. Is there going to be a sorting out? Well, Bennett is through into the position, but Alex Pritchard not happy.
That was a hell of a move from Rob Bennett into turn 4. As far as I'm concerned, that is completely on. Nothing wrong with the attack down into the entry of turn 4. It's the exit of turn 4 that Alex Pritchard seems to be unhappy with. And then it looked like Pritchard had him around turn 5 into turn 6, but it gave Rob Bennett the inside line into turn 7.
Here comes Pritchard trying to dive on the inside of Rob Bennett, and he has to bail out of it. Lee Witney's loving this fight between the two of them because now he's right in the mix himself.
What a gift for Lee Witney. Hello, gents. I'm here.
Here we go again. Pritchard round the outside now trying to tuck in for the switchback. They're going to be side by side again, and Pritchard's going to make the move to the first corner. Side by side with Rob Bennett. Bennett takes to the curb, and they're still banging wheels. Pritchard is not going to let him go. Bennett still holds on to it. Pritchard squeezes it back to the outside, and Witney makes the dive on both of them. He has to hang back.
Witney, that was none of your business. Stay out of it.
And now look, Tarek Almu's making the move on Lee Witney. No. He's gone into 3rd position. Bring it on. 4 drivers, mano a mano for the victory.
Big high-risk manoeuvre from Witney, trying to profit on the battle between Rob Bennett and Alex Pritchard. It didn't pay off in the end, but what a ballsy move into turn 4.
Do you know what? Pritchard is absolutely adamant that there's no way Bennett is going to force this issue. You're going to need to make a clean move if you're going to get past me, mate.
They were rubbing and touching all the way through turn 1, turn 2 and turn 3. Lucky, lucky boys that nothing bad happened through those corners.
Yeah, we even got tyre smoke in between the two barge boards as they ended up just rubbing in together. Now Bennett's going to have another crack. Plenty of curve up the inside of turn 10. And look at that, Pritchard's going to get the switch back straight away on Bennett. Absolutely terrific from Pritchard.
Pritchard, that was a masterclass in defensive driving. Let Rob Bennett come all the way through.
And look what it's done. We're into the last lap, and Bennett's got space now to make up on Pritchard. 7/10 of a second in it as Almu goes for Witney into turn 2.
Oh, that was a bit much for me. Almu's touch onto Witney there.
Yeah, Whitney's not happy about it. Whitney is not happy, so Almu finding the smallest gap in history to come back onto Lee Witney. But I think Rob Bennett's going to feel a bit sheepish about that one. He had some good moves there on Alex Pritchard, but just watching again, Alex Pritchard making the dive. He just backs off the brake, takes a very cautious line in, but he's got plenty of momentum to get back on the power nice and soon. Bennett, unfortunately, is sold a dummy by Pritchard.
For me, Almu got an advantage after contact going into turn 2. That's all I'll say on the matter. I think Lee Witney could well feel hard done by.
It'll have to be investigated afterwards if that's the case, but it's going to be a victory at a crucial time in the championship fight for Alex Pritchard. He will take the 50 points, and that will take the title fight down to, I believe, 21 points. A brilliant performance from Alex Pritchard today. He's really worked hard for it. He's had to stand and deliver all the way through. The checkered flag flies, and the title fight will go to the season finale. Oh, there is one lap now, my apologies. I thought we were done and dusted, but there is one more lap to do this.
You peaked too early.
I did indeed. I thought we were done and dusted, but we've got one more lap of going through.
I really want to see Lee Witney have a go at Tarek Almu here. No offence to Tarek Almu whatsoever. I just feel like Lee Whitney's a little hard done by on this occasion. Not saying, you know, we should drag out Tarek Almu into the woods or anything, but I just feel like Witney could be feel hard done by.
Is there enough time for Bennett to get another late lunge on Alex Pritchard? He came from a long way back to make his move at turn 4 before.
Yeah, but I think Pritchard's wise to it now. Bennett really surprised him into turn 4, but then Pritchard understood that lunge is coming.
Checkered flag is in the hand of our man on the starting gantry, and I think Pritchard is going to get this job done. Alex Pritchard into the final couple of corners. Rob Bennett will try his best just in case Alex Pritchard makes a mistake. And a big lunge from Witney on Almu into the penultimate hairpin. But it's going to be Alex Pritchard who takes the checkered flag here at Milton Keynes. What a win for Pritchard. Second place, Rob Bennett. Third position from Lee Witney after an amazing last corner lunge there.
I'm really chuffed with that. The last corner lunge, it looked like it didn't pay off at all, but actually I think Tarek Almu defended far too wide and gave Lee Witney much too much space on the inside.
Good to see that Bennett ended up congratulating Alex Pritchard after the fact, and they've done so again. A very hard fight between those two, but I think the right result ended up being the one we got.
So I think so. Rob Bennett's racecraft has been spectacular all season, but Alex Pritchard was sublime there in defence.
He really raised his game towards the end there. Alex Pritchard taking the title fight to Sandown by beating Rob Bennett. Lee Witney in third place from Tarek Almu and Paul Studd. Lee Schnitzler in sixth position from Blaise Sianko, Vinod Hirani, Darren Holliday and Ricky Glendenning. And in fifth position, Paul Studd is the leading super heavy home. So with 16 points advantage heading to Sandown Park, it could still go either way, but we're ready for the showdown now. Let's hear it again, ladies and gentlemen, for Paul Studd, Lee Witney, Rob Bennett, and your race winner, Alex Pritchard!
So I'm here with the third place man, Lee Witney. I'm really glad you made it onto the podium because on the last lap, or 2 laps from the end, you got hit in turn 2, down to fourth.
Yeah, it was definitely a forceful move into 2. It seemed a little bit late, but yeah, we survived to fight another day, and yeah, we come back at 10, and yeah, hopefully, yeah, got the podium at last. I haven't been up here since Buckmore, so.
How satisfying is that, though, when you thought the podium was gone and you managed to pull off a move like that into turn 10?
Yeah, it's good. It turns a frown upside down sort of thing. So after I thought I was going for a move on the lead into turn 4, and I got bogged down where carts come together, and the Tarek got a run, he come back on me, and I was like, oh no, got to go again. So we got going, we had a bit of a tussle, got to the end, got the podium, so yeah, not a bad end to the day.
Very entertaining drive. Thank you very much, Lee Witney, our third place man. And in second place was half of the amazing battle we had. It was a 7-turn battle, I counted at one point. Through turns 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 was Rob Bennett and Alex Pritchard. And I'm going to catch up with Rob Bennett in just a second. Until then, I'm going to stand perfectly still. And here I am with second place man, Rob Bennett. What an amazing fight with your rival over there, Alex Pritchard, wheel to wheel, like incredible. No hard feelings, though, I'm sure.
No, it was a good battle. I think we had was probably 3 points where we exchanged places. There was in reflection, it was quite good fun looking back on it. I think there was a moment where we were side by side, literally coming down the start finish through 1 and 2, which I, holding the outside and 2, and then we stayed together for 3, 4. I think then he got past me, maybe going down to the bottom of the circuit, then we exchanged again. So yeah, I think we were racing about as hard as you can possibly race without one of you coming off.
I think that'll be one to download off YouTube and save for the future.
Yeah, Ben's been pestering me for the footage, so I've let him have it because I think it's probably quite good.
Second place man, Rob Bennett, thanks very much for talking to us. But we've got to speak to Alex Pritchard. Rob's recounted that battle you had there, nearly every corner on the track. But what about that cutback after turn 10 where you let him through? That was something special.
Yeah, and I knew that Rob was right behind us, but didn't make any mistakes. I'm following the racing lines where I should, and fought really hard for it. And I think that this win, I've had a couple this year. The 2 I've had today, I've had to really fight for, and I'm really happy that I've had both of them.
The move that clinched it, though, when Rob got you down the inside of turn 10, really dive bomb you. Did you see him coming? Because it looked like such a masterful cutback.
You get a bit of a feeling, and you sort of think, because you can, even though I've got a radio and you can hear a car coming, and once I saw him in peripheral vision, I thought, there's just no way you're going to keep the inside, so I'm just a bit more eager on the brakes, and then off I go. What's
been the difference today? Because you've been on fire all day.
I really liked it at Milton Keynes. I've always thought that I'd be really tough to beat in Milton Keynes, and today I've come here and I've proved it.
It's a great track. Thanks very much. A fantastic drive from Alex Pritchard today, both in defence and in attack. He was absolutely awesome.
And of course, it means he now carries a 16-point advantage going into the final race of the season, and it's going to be electric between those two. Neither Pritchard or Bennett are going to give anything to chance. So
I'd go to the Daytona website and just check that maths, but...
Absolutely. Sure. DaytonaMax.co.uk is the website if you want to get on the grid. The number to call is just above the screen there. So do please get yourself on the starting grid for the final round of the championship at Sandown Park in November.